I was actually waiting for a call.
How does it feel to be a founder of?
So if you are consistent, you will succeed. We are like a superheroes without cape.
Simply calling the dhanda. People like starting their own momo stall are calling themselves entrepreneurs. So what do you feel about the startup culture that we currently have in India? Be it PhonePe, be it BharatPe, be it Zepto, be it Blinkit, Zomato, Swiggy. So
Who will lose an opportunity of 150 crore population where you have over like 2 crore users every day?
So hey, welcome guys for another podcast named The Other Side. Today we have our esteemed guest, Mr. GNL Ravi Teja, and he is a founder of a company named as Tejis Innovative Solution. And for short, it's Tejis. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, how about you?
I'm good too, sir. It's really nice to have you here. Like for this podcast, the level has risen from like getting a guest as a founder of a really esteemed company.
It's
we already
great
know.
calling. I was actually waiting for a call.
So if we are talking about like being an entrepreneur itself, so the first question actually would be that how does it feel to be a founder of a company, like starting up your own company, establishing your own empire? So how does it feel like? What was the reason behind it? How you got yourself into this?
Feelings apart, there is no feeling. It's just your journey. You have to accept what you are. You explore every possibility, and if you feel that you can create something on your own, you must take a shot. So we all do education just to have a great career. It's the same thing. The only differs is over there is a person, there is a security. Over here it's you are on your own, and you have to fight for the way. So if you are consistent, you will succeed. The only difference is keep all the opinions aside, focus on what you have, start building things. That's all.
So like what's that difference you faced yourself? How does it being like an employee and then shifting to an employer? So there must be some differences, right?
So it's not employee and employer, it's first employer, failed,
Okay.
employee,
Okay.
succeeded, and then entrepreneur, back again, failed, and another journey. So without ups and downs, you can't do anything. Whether you are MTech in robotics or PhD in AI, no one cares. It's all about how clear you are with your thoughts and how clear you are portraying that to the people, and how clear that you can handle a team, handle the finances, and take the responsibility. If you are in a job, it's your responsibility is only to take care of yourself and your family. But if you are a company, if you are an entrepreneur, then it's not just about you. It's about the entire team, it's about the client, it's about everything. Okay. So the responsibility increases. So key thing, irrespective of where we are from, okay, the whole ideology of a person will change. Being an employee, I did the same work. Being an employer, I am doing the same work. The only difference is, as an employee, I am responsible for one team, respecting and responding to that particular team itself. But now my responsibility leads to handle multiple teams at multiple locations. So I have to be very clear. My decision should be very profound, that it will not impact others. And of course, to gain the financial freedom. That's the key point everywhere.
That's one of the good advantages of being an employer.
It's not just about employer and all. I feel employer is a big term. So it's subtle to call ourselves entrepreneurs, because we are many things. We are like a superheroes without cape. Okay, we are the problem solvers. We solve various problems. Now for that, obviously one superhero cannot do many things. We have to be Avengers. We have to call in all the people to collaborate, to build, so that one problem can be resolved and that solution reach to millions of people.
But like many of us, like we all go through a same journey. Like we are first studying in our schools, then we get ourselves into college, then we go to do our masters, PhD, many more things we do. Then practically speaking, we go for an experience, we try to do a job, we try to learn something from them, and becoming an entrepreneur is like nowhere in this process. Like it's something that you either take a shot and then you get a concept yourself, you get a problem, you solve it, and then you took a shot, and then you became an entrepreneur. But in this whole process, that being an entrepreneur is not a particular part of this whole process. Like in our Indian education system, like it's just recent that entrepreneurship is very much booming nowadays. Government is trying to promote it. There are so many startups going on in India right now. So getting that shot, like how did you vision yourself that, okay, I have a concept, now I have to do something, I have to solve a problem, and I'll become an entrepreneur. So like what was that point for you that you thought that, yeah, now I have a vision, now I'll become an entrepreneur myself?
See, entire generation of Indians, entire population, they are all good businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, business is not a new thing to anyone,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is to a small kid or a matured person. Business is there. My father used to do business.
Okay.
Okay, my grandfather used to run something, and there were like generations of people who do the same thing. The entrepreneurship deals about how you can scale it, how you can expand it on a large margin rather than focusing on one small area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just tell me one thing. So like you said, students go to school, college, they do their graduation, they get they learn something. Okay, now you ask any first year graduates, okay, they have seen technology, how it is rapidly growing. Now everyone has seen, especially after COVID, how rapidly things are changing. Now you ask them, after 4 years of your graduation, what will be the most happening thing that will be there, that will give you an opportunity? Are you ready for that? They can't even answer what might be it. Okay, but if you choose entrepreneurship, that means you are looking at a problem, okay, and you are trying to solve that problem,
Mm-hmm.
and you are focusing that problem, how it will change in the future, and you are focusing an entire company, how it will respond, how it will do, how it will financially run for next 10 years or 20 years. You have a plan. So the normal education, the formal education that you have deals with marks, deals with grades, and
Mhm.
deals with attendance percentages and everything. But entrepreneurship is all about leave everything aside, focus on one problem, how it is going to change. When you introduce a solution, what will be the side effects? Now where you can excel yourself and where you can generate revenue, where you can generate employment, where you can scale, what possibilities you have. So you are not just looking at marks or 4-year graduation, you are looking at your 40 years career.
It's true.
Okay, it's not just about finances. Second thing, it is about respect, it is about the vision that you have.
True. So from this, the concept of there's this entrepreneurship, and then you told us about that since generations, Indians, and not only Indians, everyone is already doing business. Like, what is that difference between simply calling the dhanda, that business, the local term? How do you differentiate dhanda from entrepreneurship? Like, people like starting their own momo stall are calling themselves entrepreneurs. But there is a huge difference, and there is a big difference between getting a business and getting into entrepreneurship. So what's that
Obviously.
difference for you?
See, everyone after their graduation try to get a job. So you must sell yourself that I have this strong profile, I am very much consistent in my marks, I am very much consistent in learning and internships. So there are many things, right? And even after that, a company will test you whether you are suitable or not,
Mm-hmm.
because it might be competition, it might be anything, right? So think from this perspective. If a person is getting married, okay,
Okay.
his mother will say, my son can cook, my son is a very good boy. Okay, they try to sell.
Huh.
So in our regular lifestyle itself, we have the business mindset.
Okay.
Because at the end, the reason why you do this is not for a wrong perspective. For a girl, it's the safety, it's happiness, it's her career, it's her life. Okay, so for that you have to do. Now same thing dhanda mein, anyone will come, anyone can buy anything from you, चाहे वो मोमो हो या चाय हो.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, question is, अगर तुम्हारे पास quality, consistency,
Mm-hmm.
subsidiable price, तीनों चीजें है, then people will start coming. And if you have enough money, you can start another thela, or you can start another franchise itself.
True.
Okay, So the difference is, if you have that productivity range and if your customers are liking you, the danda changes into a business. Okay, how it changes? Now instead of focusing on one particular spot, one franchisee, you can focus on 1,000 franchises in a single go, because you have a value, and now you can give the same value to everyone. So that differs. So danda means, yeah, even if you have 1,000 clients, you can say it danda. That's not a thing.
Okay.
It's about how you envision for planning, execution, and implementation.
Okay. So should we call, just like a controversial question, but I will surely ask, like, what do you think? Like Mr. Praful, he has his own franchisee based model, Chai Sutta Bar. I guess it's his. Or MBA Chai Wala. Which one is this? MBA Chai Wala, right? So like, what do you call him? Like an entrepreneur or a businessman?
I call him an entrepreneur itself. See, if you have one shop, okay, you are a businessman.
Okay.
If you are scaling, and if you are scaling product also generating value, you are an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So first thing, we must understand the basic difference between that. Entrepreneurship is running a business. Okay, the business fixed at one point, you have limited customers, you have limited vision, you have limited finances. Okay, but you have a great feedback, you have thousands of customers repeating themselves, you are a successful businessman. But if the same thing happens at 1,000 different places, and because of you 1,000 different franchises and owners are having their livelihood, and 10,000 employees are having their salaries, and millions of customers who enjoy your product, now that's become an entrepreneur journey.
True. So let's talk about the environment of entrepreneurship that we are currently having in India. It's quite recent. It has been like not more than 10 years. Like these past 10 years, we are have a boom of getting startups, getting funding and all. So what do you feel about the startup culture that we currently have in India, with all the startups, be it PhonePe, be it BharatPe, be it Zepto, be it Blinkit, Zomato, Swiggy. So everyone is like coming up as a huge startup, and they are getting crores and crores of funding. They're becoming unicorns. But like, what you personally feel, that is this startup culture going in a good way or a bad way? How these startups are dealing with themselves in a way that how they are trying to earn money? Are they having a good way of earning the money, or are they too much focused over the IPOs, getting the people's fund to sustain themselves? And like the recent news that we heard through obviously social medias, that we are hearing all these news is that Zepto is trying to cash burn a lot, Blinkit is trying to cash burn a lot. So this cash burn, this terminology will have a description over here so that you know. But like the startups are having a lots of marketing budget, to be honest. But like a few years back, since the startup culture was not here, companies were not too much focused on this marketing budget. There was not use of social media, there was not use of this digital marketing. This trend has come in India in a very recent times. But now if you see all those marketing budget using social media, it's getting over like in 3-digit numbers, and that's in crores. So what do you feel about this cash burn and this startup culture, this environment that we're living in? What do you feel about that?
Okay, so first of all, lengthy question. Okay, but to answer it in a subtle way, startup or entrepreneurship or business is not, like I told you, it's not a new term. It's gaining popularity in the recent time. So if you say new term, Narayan Murthy will be hurt, because he started something and made an empire with it.
True.
Same thing with everyone. Like you talk about HCL, you talk about TVS, you talk about various companies in India which started at a very small places. Their plan was to start something but to expand it in a global way. They have a vision and they fought for it. Okay, the only difference is at that time the financial cash flow for companies are very limited. So either banks or personal investment or some foreign company to come into play, or a government subsidies or any such kind of a thing. Now you have too many opportunities, because at the end a business can generate employment. Now education is growing so high, so everyone needs jobs, and of course the national growth must also exist. So if you look at the recent trends, so the journey people are following is, you build an idea, you build an portfolio with it, and you start promoting it. The first phase to start, okay, the early stage. And once you succeed, you go for investment. And once you are successful investment, then you have the budget, you plan it properly, and you execute it so that you'll get a huge branding, and your product will go forward. So this is a simple, like a a short journey that I could say. The point is, the journey, whether it is the old times or the new times, is the same. Things did not change. It's only that because of the wide population, because of the global recognition quite quickly and all, things are running rapidly. So if it's supposed to say 20 years for a company to grow before, now you can do it in 2 years. That is the value of resources that we have nowadays. Okay. If you have over 1 million people buying your product on yearly basis for 3 years, okay, so you can promote it in such a big way with huge investments. IPO and all is secondary. Turning yourself into a unicorn is a huge challenge. Okay, the revenue that you are going to generate, the investment that you are going to put in. If as an entrepreneur your idea might be good, but your vision is also good, but you lack experience. Okay, in that particular case, even the investor will cross check, double check. Okay, so the point is, it is an open opportunity to anyone. Even a school student, if he has idea and if he is strong, he can start doing things. Okay, so first thing is, when you look at the current trend, the reason why many fail is people cannot find a proper co-founder. They try to do everything on their own. And there are certain people who incubate or who support the startups, but the problem is, instead of giving a suggestion, they force them to perform the same action. Okay, so things are kind of divergent in the current scenario. So first thing that you should keep in mind is, never trust anyone. Okay, first thing. Second thing, if a person comes to you and say, oh my god, your idea is good, I'll do everything, I'll give everything, don't put forward your entire idea. Okay, if you truly want to gain, you do a proper research, you understand the market first. Okay, you have a family. Okay, you just see if your family buy your product. Or we all have a minimum family of at least 20-30 people to maximum 200-300. See if at least 50 people have that consent of buying your product and sparing money. Whether it is an application, whether mobile application or a product or a clothing or whatever it is. So the point is, even for your family, it comes to this point where the finances are engaged. You can't say that I got 1,000 crores funding, so my pricing increases from 100 rupees to 10,000 rupees.
Yeah, true.
Okay, people will not buy it. So you have to find the best possible way so everyone can afford it. Still you can grow your business in a large scale. So that makes the difference. And the reason why, like you said, the Zepto and all running so high is because previously the companies are focusing on specific areas. Like if you look at Infosys or big companies that were branded at that time, those are into software, those are into specific professional areas. If you look into food chains, there were like various food chains which were there from past 30-40 years in India, and they have their branches in abroad also. Okay, so they are doing very well. They are targeting a specific category of people. You must understand your customer well. Okay, now Zepto or Swiggy or Zomato, they focused on everyone because food is something that everyone need. And most important thing, food or groceries, sometimes we are busy with your work, you're not well. Okay, just consider the Dehradun weather. If you have fever, okay, at let's say 10 degrees temperature, you can't go out and buy something.
True.
You simply order something, they'll come to you and they will give it to you. It's so heartwarming and welcoming. Okay, now these are certain things that can elevate the product as well. Okay, same thing with Ola, Uber, the Rapido, all these services. When it comes to services, you are not supposed to target one particular category of people. It should be for entire general public. Now that means if you talk about Zomato, it is open to all 150 plus crore population. Anyone can use it.
True.
Right? So the only difference that makes is a person who is capable of sparing 150 rupees per meal can order from Zomato, and obviously not everyday people will be buying. Okay, so you have to maintain your company standard. At the same time, you have to give open opportunity to everyone to utilize it. That will create the impact. Okay, you can grow a company from scratch without investment also. There are successful companies like Zoho and various companies which become unicorns now. Okay, but if you are looking for investment, then the first thing that you have to keep in mind is you must be very clear about how you are going to utilize the finances. Because once you have finances, 1,000 people will come to you for opportunities. And second thing, one wrong step, you will go down. Okay, so that is a very key factor. You must, as an entrepreneur, you must focus.
Okay, actually there is one other question, it rises from here itself, that all these startups that we currently have, even take it Flipkart, which is running for like years, but we have seen a trend that most of these companies are being funded from foreign countries, right? Even Flipkart is now mostly owned by Walmart. Even then Flipkart owns PhonePe, and technically Walmart is also having a huge investment in PhonePe. Same goes for each and every of the companies. Even SoftBank has funded so many startups in India. So being an Indian, see, we are trying to open our companies, but do you think there's still a feel that we are still working for like others only? That we know that for big companies we are the CEOs, but founding a company, becoming an owner of a company is a different thing than becoming just a CEO. But if we see even in our companies, the own startups, people are there who are owners of the company but still are being funded from foreign countries. Does that still give us a feel that we are still working for like others?
It's not like that. See, Walmart acquired Flipkart. That's true. Walmart is basically a company which groceries and
Exactly.
basic home appliances, needs and everything. Flipkart deals with the same thing. So if you see that Apple is buying Flipkart, then you must ask this question, why this happened? Okay, so they look at every country, even in India. If we look at various companies, if you look at Tata, they, whatever the business models that they have, whatever the business that they are running, they look at opportunities across the globe. If you are an entrepreneur, you have to be a global mindset. You are not supposed to say that why Indians are not supporting. Okay, see, let me tell you an example. There was a guy. Okay, when I first started my journey as an entrepreneur, I said, sir, मेरे पास एक idea है. Can you provide me like 20 lakh rupees so that I can start with 1 or 2 clients, and if things will go well, then I'll return you with this much amount. Okay, the first thing, it's like I'm giving you what's the guarantee that I keep. Okay, now when it comes to an entrepreneur journey, it's about your idea, your evaluation and your commitment, and of course the revenue that you generated so far will create the trust and we are comfortable to give you. Okay, now the point is, in India things are growing now. The mindset, the ideology and everything is changing. So that person who asked me for surety and everything and all, it's 90% of what Indian mindset is. Okay, so whether it is a big person or a small person, because you can't trust anyone. If you fail, what is the responsibility? Because if you look at the revenue of an individual family of 4, it's not even more than 1.5 lakh per month. Okay, and sometimes it's less than 30,000 also.
Sure.
Right? So you can't expect, they might have money, but their income is very subtle, so their whatever they have earned is what they are relying on. So if accidentally something happens, so you can't take that risk. So it's the risk factor that makes people to think twice. But when a company is growing so rapidly, the others can't wait for let us see if any Indian come and buy. If they buy it, then I'll go and do it. They won't do that. For them it's an opportunity. Who will lose an opportunity of 150 crore population where you have over like 2 crore users every day? So that's a big number. They go for it. And of course it's not you are working for Walmart or anything like that. You are working for an Indian brand called Flipkart. They are associated with a foreign company. That's all.
Mhm.
So the revenue is generated in India, the employability is generated in India. It's not like some foreign person is delivering food or groceries for you. It's like an Indian person who is doing it. And the IT infrastructure is 90% built in India. Okay, some services we might get it because without that collaboration things won't run.
Mhm.
So you must see from a perspective how it is impacting the Indian economy and Indian population. Okay, so it's good actually someone is investing on an Indian company.
At
That's
least
that's the point you must
getting the
focus on.
cash.
Exactly. That's the point you must focus into.